In today's video, I will show you the tools and process I use to design this Black Panther mask. Really, can we see the design of, for example, Black Panther mask? So, let me show you the way I did it. Basically, the main tools I use in Onshape are curve. There are a lot of curve tools in Onshape, the surface tools, and the surface modifiers tools. Here is the design. Basically, I've used more than 100 features until I get this result. Of course, I used a blueprint for it. Here are the blueprint. I will give you the link in the description. Then the way to put the blueprint, let's scroll here, is easy. You put the front view in the front plane and the side view on the side plane. I've just used these two views. First of all, I've just created let me hide this, the overall shape. So the overall shape is something like this. Then I used loft. So here is the result of the loft. When you create surface, make sure you choose the surface in this tab. Now let's move on. I've just used this extrude to split, here we go, these split tools, so that I can split, see, to the shape that I need. Then after split, you can delete it. So for the process, it's often like this. You split, then you delete face. You split and you delete face. And that's almost the way and the techniques I used when I create a surface in CAD. So let's go here, draw a shape and extrude it. Then I use a tool called Meteor Trim. So that I have this. I sketch this part of the eye. I sketch it in the right plane. Then split. And I have this, then delete faces. As you see, again, split, delete face. Let's go to the first curve that I've just created. When you need a 3D curve, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of tools that you can use in Onshape. So the most common one is the projected curve. So the projected curve is used to combine two sketches, mainly in different planes, and with a result of a 3D curve. So the curve in here is this curve. So where is it exactly? Here. So the curve is the way here. It's on the nose of my mask. That's the same here for this next projected curve, because I need to combine something like this. I wanna draw this part, as you see here, this, and follow this. That's why I've created these projected curves, these 3D curves. There are a lot of projected curves, and if you want to edit the curvature, because sometimes this is not the curvature that you need for your curve, you can edit the curve. All of these tools are in these extra tools here. and you can see the edit curve here, okay? And you can use the edit curve here to adjust the curvature, see, of it. So instead of just a simple straight, you can adjust it to be more curvy. So we've seen the loft, we've seen loft. This is one of the most powerful tools to create surface by using open boundaries or closed boundaries. We can use these 4 tools with these 4 basic tools. And the basic process: create sketch, split, delete face. Now we have like 4 tools: the mutual trim, and I also the boolean to combine 2 surface, and the projected curves, and lastly the edit curve. Now the composite curve. The composite curve is to turn the existed boundaries as a curve. You wanna turn this one as a curve, or wanna combine 2 sketches in case you want to edit that curve, or you want to use that curve independently from the existed surface. That's the way I use it. But for example, if I just want to loft from here to here, I do not need the composite curve. I will just select these 2 edges, these 2 boundaries, and that's all. Okay, but in this case, for example, I want to trim it because I just need a partial curve in here. I just need this partial curve. That's why I've turned it into a composite curve first before trimming it. So to trim a curve, you need a kind of end boundaries, and if you do not have end boundaries, you can add the mate connector and adjust the mate connector to the way you wanna trim or even extend your curve. You can look in the video that I made for the bath mug on the way I trim it. Another tools is the 3D fit spline. So the 3D fit spline is almost the same as the bridging curve. I'll not go in details about this one, but even if you use 3D spline or bridging curve, if you just select 2 points, you get the same result. So the 3D spline, I just want to combine the end of the curve that I've just trimmed and the second curve. I want to bridge this. My goal here is to create a fill tools. Fill, that's the next surface tools that we mostly use in surfacing. Fill. Fill can be used only for the closed loop boundaries. You can't use fill if your boundaries is open. But if your boundaries is open, you can use the extrude, you can even use the revolve, you can use sweep, and you can use loft. Loft can be used in open boundaries and with closed boundaries. And sometimes the result from loft is not the same with fill, but it's often close. I mean about the curvature, about the quality of the surface you want. And that's almost the same for all the design of this mask. And that's quite almost the tools I used until I finished the mask design here. As you see here, composite curve, trim, 3D fit spline, all the tools that I've just presented above are the tools I used for it. Now the offset surface, for the eye for example, I've just created the eye from the front plane with sketch, then extrude it Then I've used the offset surface so that I can create a kind of emboss so that the eye will be somewhere in the inside and emboss like a ball to the outside. Something like this. You see here? So the offset surface also is one of the common tools that you can use when creating surface in CAD. Last one is the move boundaries. So because in here I want to use the mutual trim from here, but as you see here, just before the move boundaries, some part of the ear of the panther doesn't intersect this surface, so I need to move these boundaries so that it will intersect well to this surface so that I do not have an error when using the mutual trim somewhere here. That's all. So I use the split afterward just to create this kind of pattern and add some appearance to the Black Panther mask. And this is the mask after wall. The way I add this kind of appearance is by adding appearance. Add appearance to face, make sure it's face. But if you add appearance for surface, it will change all the surface look. But you can add appearance to face, then you can select independently faces like this. I guess you've just discovered the way and some techniques I used to create this design. And let me hide this. And if you plan to design a kind of mask or helmet, you can use the same techniques. So basically, and as I said, the tools that I use for surfacing are, of course, these 4 tools: extrude, revolve, sweep, loft can be used. The modifier tools that I use, modifier surface tools, is the split, the delete face, the move boundary, and the mutual trim. And, the offset surface. And of course, the most powerful tools, the most powerful curve are the 3D fit spline, projected curve or bridging curve, like it's almost the same, the composite curve, trim curve, and edit curve. You can even explore the other tools like the rule, the boundary surface. It works quite similar to the loft and quite similar to fill. You can try it. Ruled surface, quite similar to sweep. Thanks guys for watching and see you in the next video.